Good evening and welcome to the Sixth Form Information Evening. So this evening I'm going to talk you through over a series of slides the different routines and expectations we have here at Sixth Form. Okay, this is a webinar this evening, so if you do have any questions, then you can post it at the bottom of the screen. Mrs. Shepherd is with us this evening to answer those questions at the end of the session. If there's any more, a bit more personal to your son or daughter, then please feel free to email them across, or if you're listening to this on demand, then obviously you can email them across to us. So I'm going to share the screen today. And put that on and get started this evening. So firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Coleman and I'm head of Sixth Form here at the school. We have Mrs. Shepherd, who is the deputy head of Sixth Form, and Charlie, who is our administrative assistant. She works as part of a small team that will help process your enrolment forms. So thank you for getting them back into us, and thank you to all those that have returned them to us. We work part of a bigger team, which is our Sixth Form tutor team. As you can see there, they are experienced members of staff to work alongside your son and daughter to be the very best they can be during our Sixth Form experience. So when you think back to your application forms, you were looking at two different courses that you could have applied for when you were coming to Sixth Form. You could choose between A-levels and Btec qualifications. The principal difference being the method of assessment. A-levels are mainly made up of examinations that will encompass the 2 years of study, whereas the Btec qualifications are made up of a number of units. These units could be assessed through coursework, practical presentations, but under the new framework, at least one of the units will have a formal exam to it. Now, when you were selecting the subject that you wanted to choose, probably one of the most important decisions that you were making, my general advice throughout the whole process has been to choose subjects that you enjoy, you have a genuine passion for, and also the subject perhaps you're going to achieve the best outcomes in. And over the last academic year, you've been through some challenging times. I suppose if you were a student here at the Arnewood Sixth and Arnewood School, then you would have had an opportunity to do a taste today. That would have given you an insight in perhaps what the subject looked like and perhaps what the detail was for the 2-year course that you would have. If you are from an external student that's applied to us from a neighbouring school or further afield, you unfortunately didn't have that experience due to the COVID guidelines that were coming up. But to compensate for this, I'll be writing to you over the coming days individually to offer you an opportunity for a subject taste today on Tuesday the 20th or Wednesday the 21st of July. I do hope you can make it, and let us show you the Arnewood Sixth and what we have to offer here. So in addition to those taster sessions, to support your decision-making process, subject staff have developed excellent transition work to bridge the gap between GCSE and A-level. I really can encourage you to access those Firefly, which is our learning platform here at the school, to have a look at the details behind the subject's transition material and the tutorial transition. You'll find the subject link for this on the registration details that I emailed out in the letter in order to register this webinar tonight. Now, most of you have made obviously the decision on what subjects that you would like to pursue in September. If you find in the first 2 weeks that you feel that you perhaps made the wrong decision, that is the time to make the decision to change that subject at that point. If you leave it after that point, you would have covered too much ground in the other subject, and therefore it makes it very difficult to catch up. So making the right decision from the outset will really have a positive impact on the outcome at the end. So during your time here with us at the Sixth Form, as a staff body, we will challenge you to be the very best you can be. You'll be afforded perhaps more independence than you're used to, and with that responsibility in your learning. So all I ask is that you get involved, You try something new and you set your targets nice and high. One of your targets should be your attendance. As you well know, that's very, very closely linked to your academic performance. If you are ill, you have a dentist or a doctor's appointment, then we ask as your students, or you as students, to let us know in the sixth form office before 9:30. By doing this, your teachers and tutors will be informed, and this will save a phone call home asking after you. Driving lessons, holidays are to be kept out of school time, please, because the lessons are so important to ensure that you are progressing to where you want to be. And linked to this is being on time. This is important in any situation, but especially where it affects your learning. So what would your typical day look like at Arnewood Sixth Form? Well, you will have 4 lessons for each of the subjects that you are studying. If you're doing a Btec subject, if that's a single, that will still have 4 lessons. If it's a double qualification worth 2 A levels, it will be 8 periods. So if you work that out off across a 25 period week, you would have 16 hours of contact time with staff. In addition to that, you will have tutorial times and you will have tutor time on a Thursday. These tutorials have a set theme and really valued by our current sixth form students as they take you through the pathway from the start and the journey to your next steps. Alongside this, we'll have life skills and mentoring sessions. The life skills happen once each half term. They're a 2-hour window for you to stop, think about next steps, whether that's apprenticeships, whether that's university talks, whether that is having individual conversations about what you would like to do next. We'll have careers fairs during that, interview days, and work experience will be at the end of that. The mentoring sessions are smaller group activities which will happen on a half-term basis. Again, it's for your tutor to find out more about you, what makes you tick, what your aspirations are, and how you're getting on in your subjects. Assemblies will happen infrequently, once every term. They're there to celebrate the success that you have within sixth form and bring us together as a group. So if you've worked out you've got 16 sessions potentially within your subject areas, you've also thought, well, you've got 9 independent study lessons to work alongside that. There are a number of study areas within the sixth form block, and that's purpose built for you, with a new improved cafe being put in during the summer period. There's study areas, there's a newly resourced library, free rooms, R85 and R86 are purpose-built classrooms ready for you and to work through. So there is always a space to find to do your work. And within those independent study lessons, you have things like extended project qualifications. So that's another AS level qualification that's taken across 2 years. It's an independent research-based project where you're picking the title, you get support with how you structure and plan the dissertation that will go alongside it. Universities look really keenly towards this because of its independence nature, and often you'll find if you get a good grade in that, you will get a reduced offer from Russell Group universities. So it's one keenly to look at. You can apply for that in September if you didn't tick on the form when you were applying in the first instance. Future Learn courses are online courses which have been really popular, especially over the period of this year with the virtual learning that's taken off, but in past years as well. You have to develop your CV, your personal statement to set yourself aside from other candidates that are just doing those maybe 3 A levels or 2 A levels and a Btec qualification that are going to be in a very similar position. And doing some of these independent studies will really help that. We've got opportunities for you to support subject areas, mentoring lower school students, perhaps buddy reading. There's employability courses. I think of the students this year in year 12 that have had the online experience of working with the National Grid as part of their Grid for Good program, which exposed them to a whole host of degree apprenticeship opportunities. leadership opportunities as well that ally to that. When you talk about monitoring and support, I suppose that's what sixth forms are really good at, especially here at the sixth form that you're coming to in September. We are a smaller sixth form. Your tutor group will be set up with your academic area in mind. So therefore, year 13s that will be in your tutor group will have good experience in the subjects that you're studying to help support you through the process. Like I said, we've got mentoring programs, that's both with tutor and tutorials and students to help you and engage you through that first year 12, which we know is the most difficult year. We will set you a challenging aspirational target based on your GCSE results that you will achieve this summer. This is called ALPS target, an A-level performance system. And again, like I said, that's derived from your GCSE results. And then staff will make comparisons to where you are at towards that grade. It's very much a part of the sixth form philosophy that you are meeting and exceeding that grade, and you will really go on to great things from that. We have a careers advisor here at the school that supports each of our students. Again, you can make appointments on a one-to-one basis. We also have university and apprenticeship support. And we like to think we've got an open door policy here in the sixth form where you can come up and speak to one of the sixth form team whenever you like about whatever you like in terms of supporting you through on the number of things that come up in those 2 years. Leading on from the university support, that dedicated tutor that will work with you in the life skills program. You think of our current year 12s at the moment, they have just been registering using the well-resourced material on Firefly for UCAS. They are then leading on towards their personal statements. I'll do a parents workshop in March to ensure parents are up to speed with the process and can help support from home. If you've got aspirations of Oxbridge, Cambridge, medicine, veterinary science, or another Russell Group university, we do special workshops throughout the year 12 to support that journey. We know that and recognise that some of the courses will require entrance exams for them, like the UK CAT, BMAT, MMAT tests. And again, there is support there for them. And again, we mentioned there the extended project qualification, which we know is really important. How do we report and record the students across the journey? Well, it's much like in the schools that you're at the moment, in terms of we will report to you 3 times through the year. You can see the first of them is on the tutor parents afternoon on Wednesday the 3rd. Feel free when you're watching this back to pause this and therefore note the dates down in your diary. And that's also where the first assessment point comes through. We have mocks week both in January and in the summer period because we recognise the value of doing mocks to ensure that we are learning and recalling information along the 2-year journey. We also have parents' evening and academic mentoring days. And again, the purpose of them is very tuned towards the students of what we can do to support them in that next steps of what they're going to do. As you reach the next level, I'm calling that in post 16, the communication part of it is really important. That independence we talk about means the students have freedom to leave school site and come back in during the school day. It also means that they are in governance of their teaching time and their learning time. So being able to contact them is really important. One of those mechanisms is through the tutor time. Again, the tutorial session on the Thursday will be chiefly down to all the administration that goes on for the following week. But we'll also email students. We've found that's a really good way of pushing out information about apprenticeship opportunities, university and virtual learning opportunities that have happened this year. We'll also place things on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And again, that kind of highlights the things that we are doing within sixth form to support the students the way through. We've obviously experienced, like everyone else, the lockdown situations that have occurred over the last 18 months. And again, I'm pleased to say that the learning platform that we use in this school here has worked fantastically for the students alongside our Zoom lessons that work there. So if we were in the event of any self-isolation or again periods of a lockdown, we've got a good mechanism that's robust and in place to really support the students. Some students will have part-time jobs already, I expect, and again I applaud that. I think that's a really good thing, and again I encourage them to continue that through sixth form. The thing I would say, and the caveat I'd throw into that, is looking at how much you are doing your part-time jobs. I would always recommend 8 to 10 hours is a maximum, because your work here at school is the importance. You look at your part-time job as the short-term goal of earning money to do the things you want to do, whereas the education is the long-term goal of eventually then moving off into the career that you want to do. So having that eye on your career and how much you should be working within sixth form is really important, and stopping that through exam periods is also linked and really important. Within post-16 education, there is access to a bursary that forms part of the welcome pack that actually was sent out last month. If this does apply to you in your situation and you are eligible, you can bring the form back in September to access this. Again, those 3 payments will come in and prove very valuable, I expect, for you to support you through sixth form. I know a few of you always do have questions around the sixth form dress code and what's the expectation here for us. Well, as you can see, I'm expecting smart office wear. I suppose my reasoning behind that is that you are the top of the school. You know, students from year 7 to 11 look up to sixth form. You are the role models, and dressing and acting like that will be a full part of it. How you look and come into lessons is very much how you act and how you learn within lessons. So you can see some of the things that I've highlighted there to make sure that you are in that smart office wear. And again, look forward to seeing you in those in September. I would say the enrichment part of sixth form, the 2 years, you will have the most fun that you've had so far in schooling within sixth form, no doubt. You had that opportunity to do lots of different things within that 2-year period. And if you look at the things that we organise, whether it's school productions, ski trips, sixth form games on a Wednesday afternoon, there are other activities that are perhaps led by yourselves. That think, oh, we're really interested in this particular thing, Mr. Coleman, could you help us facilitate an enrichment activity in this? And often the answer is obviously yes, we can do this, we can provide this, what about doing this and organising this? So again, thinking about your time that you spend here and the things that you do, again, it's a really exciting time for you. I suppose some key bits for enrolment details. So you're on a period now moving forward that you're hopefully enjoying a lovely summer break. The point will come around on Thursday, the 12th of August, where you'll have your GCSE results. Now that's actually earlier than perhaps what we would in normal years have the GCSE results. You can see there, if you're an Arnewood student, you can collect your results from 10 o'clock here at the school, and you'll come on site to collect those. Obviously, if you're an external student, you will receive them from your respective schools. What I could ask you to do, please, is just email me through, please, your results once you do have them. So obviously I can just check and go through them on there. You can notice there that I've got what's called a problem-solving day. So if you do have any issues with your results, or indeed you wanted to change a subject, a good time to do that is on the next day, on that Friday the 13th, 8:30 till 12. You don't need to book an appointment. Just come up to the sixth form block. It'll be a bit like a clinic, a surgery, and I'll say next one in, we'll have a team up there working with us, and we'll get to you as quickly as we can. We work through them quite efficiently. And again, it's just making sure that you've then got good directions to next steps if needed. Obviously, we look forward to working with all of you. Enrolment is on Monday the 6th of September, and that's 9 a.m. in our school hall. So again, when you come in, you go down our main drive and go straight through to the hall, where there'll be a presentation by myself to get us started. You'll be going off to tutors. You'll find out who your tutors are at that point. We're in the deliberations of the next 3 weeks sorting tutor groups out. So as and when we know, we will put that out to you obviously on that Monday. Okay, lessons start on the Tuesday, and that will be normal lessons with a normal day, like I was saying to you before, which starts for you at 8:45 and will finish at 3 o'clock. We've pushed the team building activity back to the 22nd this year. We'd normally do it in the first week, but to allow for COVID restrictions and with knowing what we will in September, it allows us to book something and make sure that it's all fit for purpose, ready for us to do on the 22nd. The team building activities of previous years have something been like raft building. It's been doing some form of canoeing down at Hainsbury Head. We will go somewhere slightly different this year due to Hainsbury Head closing down. But yeah, it will be a good team building activity that gets us moving from that. The sixth form freshers event I've placed on there. Again, that's a student-led initiative from year 13s into year 12, something to look forward to. Again, there are lots of opportunities through that first term to not only make new friends within the year 12 setting, but also with your fellow year group in year 13 that will be there to support you. You've received welcome packs, hopefully over, it would have been just before half term and it was sent out. If you haven't received one, then please do contact Charlie in the sixth form office and we can get that sent out either electronically or a hard copy to you. Again, if you can return that before we break up, that's really helpful for us in terms of our planning and moving through. And again, if you needed a coach application, I know the deadline for that is very shortly up with that for the Lymington coach or the minibus that comes in from Southbourne area. My key message in summary today is this is a really exciting time in your education. The 2 years will pass really quickly. You'll be closely supported by the staff here and your tutor, and I really encourage you to take as much as you can from the experience and lead forward for those first steps. I look forward to working with you all in September. Like I said, if you do have any questions, you can post them here now or drop me an email and we will get back to you. Thanks for listening, okay, and I look forward to catching up with you all very soon.